Hey everybody, how you doing? This is about to be a really fun video. I'm super excited to show you what just showed up at the house today. That is, I'm gonna cut straight to it. This is the CVA Endura Pro. It doesn't get any better than this, guys, when it comes to muzzle loaders. So, let me take a step back. My very first deer I took was with a bow and arrow. I picked it from a pawn shop for 30 bucks. The second deer that I ever shot was with a CVA 50 cal muzzle loader. This is 20 years ago. I think it was called a CVA Long Hunter, I think is what it was called. Old guy at work sold it to me for 100 bucks. From there, I hunted a bunch of public, a bunch of shotgun muzzle loader only zones. Took a lot of deer with CVA muzzle loaders. Most of them in 50 cal. But this is as good as it gets, y'all. The CVA Endura. This is in a 45 cal. I took a sneak peek inside the box just to look at it. I couldn't wait, but I haven't taken anything out of here. I'm gonna bring you guys along with me. When it comes to muzzle loaders, it doesn't get any better than this, the CVA Endura Pro. Let me bring the camera in and you guys come along with me, see what all comes in the box, and I'll show you everything about it. But muzzleloader season opens up here in 9 days, so I'm in a hurry to get this thing tuned up, do my testing at the range, and get this thing ready to go deer hunting. I'm excited. Check it out. Let me bring you in with me. All right, so check it out, guys. Like I said, I have not taken anything out of here. I wanted to bring you guys along with me and show you everything that came in the box. So, let's just start at the back here. What is this? Is this a lock or is this some more adapters? Oh, that's some more spacers for the length of pull adjustability back here. You can adjust the length of pull with spacers, taking them out, putting them in however you like it. We got a Blackhorn 209 sticker in there. Blackhorn 209 paper. Then we've got the user manual. I'm actually going to read this very closely and make sure I understand everything about this. The stock right here is a Grayboe Eagle Pro stock. I actually just put a Grayboe stock on my 300 PRC Bergara build, and that thing's awesome, so I'm familiar with Grayboe. Just to note on the stock, it has a more vertical grip here. The cheek riser is adjustable, and I already told you that the length of pull is adjustable. So let's keep working before I pull the whole thing out here. So I read that it comes with 2 ramrods, and that looks to be the case. So there's this ramrod right here, and then this one I believe is going to be the collapsible one. That's not it. We'll look at that in a second. This is the collapsible ramrod, which CVA actually came out with this, I think, about 3 years ago. But you can see how, just like a tent stake or whatever, that's pretty cool. So you can have that collapsible ramrod in your pack, whatever, strapped to your bag. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. And that way you don't have your ramrod attached to the bottom of the barrel. It's free floated. It's better for precision and long range. Let me see here. Came with a pack of the 45 cal ELR power belts. These are what, 285s, I believe? Yep, 285 45 cal power belts. And what is in this bag right here? I don't know. Like I said, I'm bringing you guys along with me. It does have slats on the back if you want to put it on your pack or something, so I'm guessing there's some stuff that we might need to carry with us. So, awesome. A barrel funnel for pouring our powder in. That's going to be clutch. We'll look at all this in a second. This actually fires with large rifle primers, just like we use in our hand loading for our rifles. What else is in the bag? A couple more little tools. A cleaning brush jag. End of the ramrod punch, if you want to call it a punch. 2 different styles there. So, with these pointed ELRs, this end right here is elongated, so you're not smashing the tip on that when we're talking about doing precision and long range groups with this thing, that'll be good not to damage those tips. So pretty sweet. And there's a brush in here too. So lots of goodies. I'm going to take a step back, read the whole manual, get everything put together. There's the bolt right there. We got to have the bolt. But let me read the manual, put this all together, and then I'll be right back. One thing to note, this barrel and action are nitrided and Cerakoted, and the barrel is a 26-inch fluted barrel. It's threaded on the end for a brake, and I've got a brake coming in the mail too, but man, this thing is sweet. Also, one thing to note while I'm sitting here looking at it, the bottom of the action opens where you would, let your bullets out. It has a little storage place there for your VaraFlame adapter and some primers if you need them, but that's cool too. Whole thing too weighs a little over 8 pounds. I think it's about 8.5 pounds all put together. But let me get this manual read, and we'll talk a little bit more about it. All right, so I'm reading the manual, and I came to a point which got some relevant and also cool and interesting information, so let me bring you in close and show you what I'm doing here. So, in days gone by, like I was telling you, I've taken a bunch of deer with some older CVA muzzle loaders. You put your 209 primer in there, you lock up the bolt, you're ready to go. Typical old school inline muzzle loader. Well, this, with their VaraFlame adapter, we can use large rifle primers. So, I've gone into my reloading stash, and of course I got a bunch of large rifle primers. Well, this right here is our VaraFlame adapter. So, you can see that end right there is where you can put your primers. And I just tested one off camera to make sure I was doing it right. You can see I now have this one loaded with a large rifle primer, and that is going to be our primer or our ignition system for this muzzle loader. Where I showed you on the hinge plate right here, it has a little stash right here where you can keep them. You can keep them in there. Now, I don't know if the manual says that they recommend to keep them primed up like that, but that's what that's for. Let me just show you this real quick because I think it's kind of relevant and cool information if you got one of these. All right, so first off, shout out to CVA for having a great manual that is even printed in color to show you how to do all this. But here's the base right here. And then I'm going to get one of my unloaded VaraFlame adapters, got nothing in it, and I'm gonna put it right there. And then I'm going to put this sleeve piece right here like that, the open end down like this. And then before I start messing with primers, I'm going to get some safety glasses. I promise you, these are not mine, but I just had them sitting right here. And then I'm going to grab one of my primers, right? Boom. Now, you want to have that facing up. So the back side goes down, and I'm gonna put that, I'm bringing it up here so you can see what I'm doing. I'm gonna put that primer in like that, and then they've got this other plunger tool, and the instruction manual says gently tap the top of the primer seating tool with a small plastic head hammer until primer seating tool is flush with the top surface. So, I was actually feeling lazy and I didn't want to go up to the shop. So, I actually just kind of squeezed it with my hands. Again, the manual says to use a hammer, so I'm going outside the manual. But make sure you wear your safety glasses anytime you're fooling with primers. But you can see there, just with squeezing it, I got that primer in there the way that it's supposed to be. So this is the ignition system or the primer system for this muzzle loader. Pretty cool. All right, got the bolt in. I showed you how we're loading those large rifle primers in that VaraFlame adapter. That's our ignition system. Now, back in the day, I'm not gonna lie, even last year, was a big user of the Pyrodex pellets. If you're not familiar with what I'm talking about, I'm gonna grab some right now. So, this right here is what I'm talking about. If you're a muzzleloader hunter, you know what I'm talking about. The little plugs of powder. So, I can't tell you how many times I've loaded a muzzleloader, put me 2 of these plugs in there, and then let her rip. And that's been my powder for a long, long time. They say not to touch it. Whoops, I touched it. The pre-measured pellets. I've used those for a long time. Better put those sticks in there in case I ever do plan to use them. So for this, what the manual prescribes is Blackhorn 209, which I'm not gonna lie, this stuff is expensive. For a while, this stuff disappeared. Now you can actually find it in stores. But Blackhorn 209 is what this recommends. And also, in the manual, there are 2 other types of smokeless powder that CVA recommends you could use. So what that means is, where I used to use the pellets and I couldn't even do 2 shots, I kid you not. My old muzzleloader, days gone by that I used, I had to clean the barrel after every shot because those pellets were so dirty. I'm not going to give you a number, but from friends of mine who are muzzleloader experts, they say you can use this over and over and over and over again during the season with that smokeless stuff and not be too worried about it. Obviously, you want to keep it as clean as you can, but this stuff is not going to be near as dirty as those pellets. Also, this is a 26-inch heavy Bergara barrel that is made to use charges a little bit more than some of the older muzzleloaders might have been able to handle. So what that means is this is essentially a purpose-built, long-range, if you need it to be, precision muzzleloader. And guess what? We're going to put that to the test this week. Going to stretch it out. I'm going to get the scope dials and everything just like I would any of my centerfire hunting rifles. Quick look at this while it's in front of my face. These are, like you would expect, drilled and tapped for a scope mount. This is a Remington 700 short action pattern here. If you get a 2-piece or a 1-piece rail, that's modeled after to fit a Remington 700 short action. But if you are in a state where you have to hunt with iron sights, you can't use a magnified optic, they also drill and tap this barrel so that you can use an iron sight system, front and rear. So they give you that option too. Also, I think I already mentioned, it is threaded. I do have a muzzle brake on the way. This thing is made for some horsepower. I'm gonna give you all of the chronograph data, my dials and all of that. And the videos are gonna be a whole lot of fun. Like I said, we're gonna be shooting the Power Belt ELRs. It's a 285 grain projectile. And we're gonna be loading it up with some healthy charges. While I was in town the other day, I got me some quick load tubes. So I'm actually gonna be measuring, or I'm talking about doing precision stuff here, y'all. Measuring my powder loads on my hand loading scale. So we have the exact powder load, the exact primer load every single time. And we're gonna be working on doing some precision muzzleloader stuff and some long range muzzleloader stuff with this. Again, this is the CVA Endura Pro gray bow stock, heavy fluted Bergara barrel, that VaraFlame system where we can use those large rifle primers. And we're gonna be loading it up with some healthy loads of this stuff right here. And possibly a couple other powders. I gotta reiterate it though, you can't be just slinging any kind of powder in this. CVA specifically prescribes the smokeless powders that you can use in this, and this Blackhorn 209. But stay tuned. I can't tell you how excited I am about this. I'm gonna put a really good scope on here. Make sure everything's torqued down real good. Got everything set up just the way that we need it. And I'm excited. But stay tuned. Make sure you're subscribed. A bunch of videos coming out real soon, as quick as I can get them out. Like I said, muzzleloader is fixing to open here. CVA Endura Pro. This thing's going to be sweet. One thing, I just saw the trigger. This Endura Pro, it has a Trigger Tech trigger in it. Trigger Tech trigger. It doesn't get any better than this, guys. But like I said, stay tuned. Whole lot more coming on this. Appreciate y'all. We'll see you on the next one. Hooty hoo!